A fresh disagreement has emerged between the presidency and the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria after Cardinal John Onaiyekan delivered a strong message to the Bola Tinubu administration. The Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja has told the government that the bishops are no longer interested in public arguments, insisting that the responsibility now lies with the government to improve its leadership and address the concerns raised by Nigerians.
When the nation is bleeding, you can't expect a polite meeting with the head of state. We need to let him know. And his reply is that the nation is not bleeding. We told him our economy is not helping our poor people. He told us the economy is doing fine. Practically speaking, he told us quite clearly that he did not agree with us. Again, I said, we're not surprised. We didn't expect him to agree with us. We have done our duty. We have delivered our message. And we have a feeling that somehow, along the line, somebody will show him a few of the things we said.
But the question now is, has the conversation between religious leaders and the government moved from advice to open criticism? And what does Cardinal Onaiyekan's latest statement mean for the Tinubu administration as it faces growing public concerns over the economy, insecurity, and governance? Speaking during an interview on Eagle 102.5 FM in Ilese, Ijebu, Ogun State, Cardinal Onaiyekan refused to engage directly with criticism from government officials following the bishop's recent meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. The cardinal said the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria did not visit the president to create political controversy or engage in a public confrontation. According to him, the bishops had already delivered their message directly to the government, and they were now waiting to see action. We are done talking. You can govern better, Onaiyekan said. The statement came days after the Catholic bishops met with President Tinubu to discuss their assessment of Nigeria's current situation, particularly concerns surrounding the economy and security. During that meeting, the bishops reportedly expressed worries about the hardship experienced by many Nigerians and the insecurity affecting communities across the country. However, the response from the presidency created another round of debate.
The economy has recovered. The alarm for bankruptcy, the dark tunnel of uncertainty that we entered into when I came in has changed. The spirit of the people and the economic tunnel that we've been passing through is now clearer. The economy is recovered and safe from bankruptcy. Yes, I always say, because of my background, the profession, and the belief that I inherit the asset and liability of my predecessor. I so did. And I've been running with it. But this government has stabilized and there's prosperity on the horizon. The quality of life is improving.
Government officials question some of the comments made by the clerics and argue that the administration's position was based on available facts, economic figures, and policy achievements.
There's nothing new about the Catholic bishops visiting their clergymen with their conscience on what they speak and what they say. And I support the visit of the Catholic bishops. It promotes the president to work harder, because the Catholic bishops are just telling him the way it is. Even if we politicians can lie to him and say things are good everywhere, the Catholic bishop can never say that. And that is why they are Catholic bishops. And I want to correct one thing. Cardinal Onaiyekan is not the president of Catholic Bishops Conference, and people are making mistake on that. So I believe whatever is this agreement between the Catholic bishops and the people speaking for the president is nothing, because the Catholic bishops just drop what they want to say about the presidency or what they want to say about what they know about the economy. It's left for us who work with President Tinubu to take back to our rooms and analyze what they say and come out with beautiful things that will make Nigerian people to be proud.
The disagreement has now expanded into a wider national conversation about whether government statistics reflect the daily reality experienced by ordinary Nigerians. Cardinal Onaiyekan, however, insisted that the bishops were not acting politically. He rejected suggestions that the Catholic Bishops' Conference was speaking only on behalf of Catholics or promoting a religious agenda. According to him, the bishops were acting based on what they considered a moral responsibility to speak about issues affecting the entire country. We didn't go there just as Catholic bishops pushing the Catholic agenda, he said. The Cardinal explained that their intervention was based on their spiritual responsibility to speak on matters affecting the well-being of Nigerians. He also dismissed the idea that the bishops should respond to every criticism from government supporters and spokespersons. According to him, Nigerians themselves have already expressed their opinions on social media and in public discussions. He said those reactions reflected the concerns and frustrations of citizens across the country. The latest exchange comes at a difficult time for the Tinubu administration. Since taking office in 2023, the government has defended major economic reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy and changes to foreign exchange policies. The administration has argued that these decisions are necessary to rebuild Nigeria's economy after years of financial challenges. Government officials have repeatedly pointed to increased revenue, economic reforms, and long-term development plans as evidence that the country is moving in the right direction. However, many Nigerians continue to complain about the rising cost of living, expensive transportation, food inflation, and difficulty meeting daily needs. For many citizens, the biggest question is not only about economic statistics, but whether those policies are improving their personal circumstances. The issue of insecurity has also remained a major concern. Across different parts of Nigeria, communities continue to experience attacks, kidnappings, and violent crimes. Religious leaders, civil society groups, and opposition politicians have repeatedly called on the government to strengthen security measures and protect citizens. The bishops' meeting with President Tinubu was therefore seen by many observers as an important moment because it brought concerns from the religious community directly to the highest level of government. However, the reaction afterwards shows the continuing disagreement between government officials and those demanding faster solutions. Supporters of the administration argue that the government should be given time to implement its policies. They say many of Nigeria's current challenges existed before the Tinubu administration and cannot be solved immediately. They also argue that constant criticism without acknowledging government efforts could discourage progress. But those raising concerns about the government's performance believe Nigerians are facing urgent problems that require immediate attention. They argue that leadership should be measured by the experiences of citizens, not only official reports. Cardinal Onaiyekan's latest comments have therefore become part of a larger national debate about accountability, governance, and public trust. The Cardinal has previously spoken on national issues, including democracy, elections, corruption, and insecurity. His supporters believe religious leaders have a responsibility to speak when citizens face hardship. Those who disagree argue that religious institutions should avoid political involvement and allow elected officials to handle government affairs. The presidency has maintained that it respects the rules of religious leaders but believes policy decisions must be based on facts and economic realities. The coming months will likely determine whether the disagreement leads to further confrontation or whether it encourages more dialogue between government officials and community leaders. For Cardinal Onaiyekan, however, the message appears clear. The bishops have delivered their concerns. The next step, according to him, is not more discussion but better governance. As Nigeria moves closer to the 2027 election season, issues of economic hardship, insecurity, and public confidence in leadership are expected to remain central political topics. The question Nigerians will continue to ask is whether government promises will translate into visible improvements in their daily lives. If you find this report insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am Cassie Tony, and many thanks for watching.